Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video we're going to be going over the Retribution Paladin rotation a little bit more in depth for Dragonflight patch 10.2. Now if you haven't watched my actual guide for patch 10.2 yet, I do suggest you watch that first. You're going to get a little bit more of an overview of the rotation in that, which might be what you're looking for. This is going to be a little bit more in depth. Now each time I make a guide, I actually usually get comments asking about actually showing the rotation, showing the button presses and stuff like that. And I imagine that's because some people learn better that way. And those are definitely the type of people I want to help, like new players or new to Rep Paladin players. And so I'm actually going to make a video, even if it's only for 10 people or something. These are the type of people that I want to help out. And if I can help that out with visualization, I will do my best to do so. So we're just going to kind of go and talk about the button presses. We'll press the button. Now I don't have the tier set, so you're not going to actually get to see the buff. So we'll have to just talk about the things instead of actually being able to show the buff on me. I'll say Echoes of Wrath would be on me right now or whatever. Basically, our tier set just very slightly changes the way we play from a general sense. But if you've played Rep Paladin before, it's very largely the same as far as general rules go. So before we actually start hitting the dummy with anything, general rule, you don't go above 5 holy power. You can break that rule with this current tier set. If it requires like getting a judgment. So let's say you're at 4 holy power, judgment generates 2, and you want to get a judgment so that way you can get an Echoes of Wrath buff or whatever. In that case, it's actually okay to overcap your holy power, but generally speaking, you do not want to do that. And generally speaking, with this tier set, you don't want to press your buttons in the complete wrong order. You don't want to judge without your target burning from your Blade of Justice, and then you want as many of your spenders, whether that be Final Verdict or Divine Storm, to be hitting an Echoes of Wrath buff as possible, which is again from your tier set. So, on pull, generally speaking, you want to start the fight with your Blade of Justice. So you're going to see this is going to put Xpurg on the target dummy here. So this is going to last 3 seconds longer with the tier set than what it just lasted. So you're going to put that up first, okay? So again, we'll put it up just to have it up, and then we're going to judge. So now he has judgment on him too. Now I would have, since he is burning from Xpurg, this would have given me a buff called Echoes of Wrath with the tier set. Okay, so it's going to make my next spender do more damage. It's like echoes for a percentage of the full damage. And so we're going to open with a burn. We're then going to judge, get our Echoes of Wrath buff. It's also going to do damage as well. Now we're going to do another blade here. It's going to refresh the burn, but we're going to get to 5 holy power. I actually have my execution sentence macroed with my Avenging Wrath. This is not always a good thing. I literally have this mostly because I'm lazy. But it's just helpful when you're just going through the grind, pull after pull, in my opinion. But you don't have to have that by any means. So again, so we're going to start with a burn because we want our target burning all the time. Blade of Justice, Judgment, Echoes of Wrath. We're going to blade again because we need to at least have 4 holy power when we start the actual damage phase. So now we're going to Avenging Wrath. For me, that's also going to pop my execution sentence. Okay, so now I'm going to Hammer of Wrath. That's going to put me at 5 holy power. Now I'm going to spend. That's going to consume my Echoes of Wrath. So now I'm going to use my Wake of Ashes. Right? And now I'm going to... Now, I wouldn't be at this much holy power. I'm going really, really slow here. So now I can judge again. Even if I'm at 4 right here, I can judge again. As long as my target's still burning, I can judge again and get Echoes of Wrath. Now, at some point during this opening, you are going to need to press your burn again. Okay? So that's just going to have to be stuck in there. So now my target's burning, and now I can Divine Toll, which counts as a judgment. That Divine Toll is going to trigger Echoes of Wrath, and then I can spend again. Okay? So you see kind of how that works. This is not exact because I'm constantly meleeing, so I'm constantly gaining holy power here. But I don't really know any better way to go about doing this. So again, we start with Blade. Our target's burning. We judge. We gain Echoes of Wrath. We're blading again right away. Not taking this time like I am in between to get to 4 holy power. We're then using Wrath with Execution Sentence. We're Hammer of Wrathing into a Spender, into Wake, into Judgment, into a spender. At some point we're going to have to burn again, Divine Toll. If we're still burning if we're still burning, you can Divine Toll without having to refresh. You just want to keep it refreshed. We want to keep this burn up all the time, and it's going really, really quick. It's going to last extra long with the tier set bonus, so it's a little bit easier to manage than what you're seeing right now on the screen. And so that's pretty much, and you pretty much just do that the whole time. That's the opener basically, but you want to just pretty much do that throughout the entire fight. Another big thing is just using your stuff on cooldown. There's a couple fights specifically where you might want to hold something a little bit, but the fight timings kind of work out, so you don't really have to hold anything. And that's for like damage amp phases, right? But generally speaking, you just want to send your stuff on cooldown, even if you don't get full effect out of it, because what you want to get is the most uses possible, right? And so I think I mentioned this in my actual rep video, but if you're gonna, unless you know that you're not gonna lose a use, then you should not hold like your execution sentence or your avenging wrath. Like you need to be sending that, especially the 30-second one. The 30-second execution sentence without avenging wrath, you need to just be sending that, because you can't be then holding your wrath waiting for execution sentence to come up. This happens a lot, and you need to just send these buttons, okay? That's going to help you out a lot. So if you're someone right now who's like trying to hold, you don't know when to press something, the number one thing you can do right away is just start sending it. Start sending it. Learn, over time, you can learn if you're losing a use, or if you're like, oh, if I would have held for 7 seconds, I could have got a damage amp. You can learn that over time. But if you're new, what you should probably be doing is just sending your stuff immediately. It's going to help your damage automatically. If you're currently right now holding and unsure of when to press your buttons, you need to just be sending your stuff, like I said, pretty much automatically. Over the course of things, again, the only other thing really to mention, because it's the same thing over and over, we're burning, we're judging our burn, and we're spending with Echoes of Wrath buff. Burn, judge, gets the Echo of Wrath buff, spend. Same thing with AoE. Except for now, instead of putting our execution sentence, we're putting our Final Reckoning down, and it was the same thing. We're burning our targets, we're judging our targets, and then we're Divine Storming our targets, consuming our Echoes of Wrath buff, and that's it. And that's kind of like the thought process you want to get into your head. And the only thing this changes from previous ret tiers really is Hammer of Wrath isn't as important. You still want to be putting Hammer of Wrath in, because it's still a very strong single target ability. So it's not like you don't want to like avoid pressing it. But like if your target's already burning and you have Echoes of Wrath up, then like, yeah, you want to fill your holy power, the rest of your holy power up with Hammers of Wrath if you could, right? So whether it's using it once or using it twice or whatever, you want to fill up the rest of your holy power with Hammers of Wrath, absolutely. But you just want to make sure your target's burning first, and that you have judged and gained Echoes of Wrath. That's very important. And then don't overcap. And so hopefully this is somewhat helpful. I don't know exactly. I'm not really like watching a button press learner myself. So if you have other things, you can comment below on like, you know, what I could do to maybe help people out more, or help you out more. But generally speaking, this is what you're going to do throughout the whole thing, rotationally, on any boss fight, on Mythic Plus, everything. So generally speaking, this is what you do. So hopefully this is helpful. It's my first time trying to do something like this. So yeah, if it was helpful to you, I do ask you please subscribe to the channel, because that helps me out a lot. And other than that, everybody have a good one.